like to greet to all the honorable speakers, distinguished guests, and fellow students. Allow me to start. My name is Beatrice Anak Musa, and I will be your moderator for today. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we start the talk, in order to avoid any unnecessary interruptions, I would like to ask everyone to mute their microphone. And if you have any questions during the talk later, do put them in the chat box as our team will collect them for the Q&A sessions. So, before we completely dive deep into today's talk, allow me to explain what is Rintis. Rintis is the abbreviations for Research Innovations Towards Integrations and Sustainability, which was initiated by Associate Professor Hasnul Jamal Saidon in 2004 as an annual final year project exhibition that features the three design departments in the School of the Arts USM. The departments involved are graphic communications, new media design and technology, and product. Rintis is the epilogue of the understudies' endeavors before graduations, permitting them to feature their creative work for conceivable commercializations. It likewise fills in as a pathway for the students to debut into their industry. So, for today's talks, we will be accompanied by one of the tech community members, and we'll be giving a talk on introductions to blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFT. For everyone's information, Detik is a token based on Binance Smart Chain. The protocol that is be used by Detik is proof of interaction artistic. The tape provides a platform that offers a verifications mechanism or proof that NFT products that are produced by NFT artists can be transferred to the fans, buyers, or the collectors of NFT arts based on ownerships of the DTK tokens. Phew, that's a lot of new term to process, right, guys? Well, don't worry because today we have one of the Detik community members that will be joining us, and his name is Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim Zainudin. Hi there, Mr. Ibrahim.
Hi everyone, hello.
Hello. So, allow me to share a few things about our fellow respected presenter for today. So, Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim Zainuddin is a skill communications, events, and social media manager with 6 years of experience of studying and working in the field. Graduated with a BA with both BA of Arts majoring in International Creative Business and BSc International Communications and Media from University of Applied Sciences, Utrecht, the Netherlands. With a deep passions for creative business and digital art, Ibrahim is now the business and community developer of the Detik Token and a member of Pioneer NFT community in Malaysia, which is NFXT. In just less than 2 years, Detik has successfully organized hashtag KLWKND at Museum Telekom Malaysia together with Yayasan TM. He also managed to secure future collaborations with Terang Films and Film Wallets projects, including events with NFXT community portal New Horizons. Ibrahim has also been one of the team players who built a strong and growing the tech community where artists, collectors, and investors come together. So, without further ado, the floor is now yours, Mr. Ibrahim.
Hello, thank you for the moderator and thank you also Rintis for inviting me for the talk. Today I would like to explain to you about the introduction of NFT, what is NFT, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So before that, I would like to share my screen so that you all can see. One moment. All right, can you guys see the slide by any chance?
It's still loading, yeah, Mr. Ibrahim?
Let me know if you already see it so I can.
Okay, now we see the whole slides, but not. Okay, all right, now we see it. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Ibrahim.
Okay, so what I want to focus in for today's topic is the blockchain technology. And as you probably heard about NFT before, but I would want to explain the step before the NFT, which is the blockchain technology. So today I would like to talk about the what is NFT and the correlation between the blockchain technology. So before that, I would like to explain a tiny bit about the blockchain technology. So what is the blockchain technology? Blockchain technology is a distributed ledger of transaction. So it's also difficult or impossible to change the check. So for example, you can put this in the shorter way, like let's say like blockchain is a Google Cloud, but then it's been monitored by a non-authority. So Google Cloud is being monitored by Google, but blockchain is monitored by person to person. So after this, the video will explain to you more about blockchain so that you guys can understand in depth about this. I will open it now.
Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine 4 friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil, meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then, Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank, one of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our previous example and have Phil, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 Bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Phil, Ted, and Sam have 3 Bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Phil sends 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Bitcoins each of the friends own. So, after Phil's transaction, Jack has 7 Bitcoins, while Phil has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks hold the transaction details as well as how many Bitcoins Sam, Ted, and Jack have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other, as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left, and he tries to send 2 more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and protected using cryptography. Now, let's have a closer look at the Bitcoin transaction between Jack and Phil and find out how it works. Every user in the Bitcoin network has 2 keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user. The private key is a unique address that only the user has knowledge of, something like a password. First, Phil passes the number of Bitcoins he wants to send to Jack, along with his and Jack's unique wallet address through a hashing algorithm. All of this is part of the transaction details. These details are encrypted using encryption algorithms and using Phil's unique private key. This is done to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate that the transactions came from Phil. This output is now transmitted across the world using Jack's public key. With this, the message or transaction can be decrypted only by Jack's private key, which only Jack has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum, which is also a famous cryptocurrency, uses one known as Ethash. This transaction and several other similar ones are taking place all around the world. These transactions are validated and then added block by block. The people who validate these blocks are called miners. For a block to be validated and added to a blockchain, miners need to solve a complex mathematical problem. The miner who solves this first adds the block to the blockchain and is rewarded with 12.5 Bitcoins. The process of solving the complex mathematical problem is called proof of work, and the process of adding a block to the blockchain is called mining. With this, Phil and Jack's wallets are updated, just like every person in the network who has completed a transaction. Now that you know about blockchain and its important concepts, time for a small quiz.
Okay,
Ever want
so like I said just now, so blockchain is kind of like the big cloud. So what we're using right now, the internet that we're using right now is Internet 2.0. So the blockchain technology is where the Web 3.0 is coming. So what is Web 3.0? Web 3.0 is where when you put it online and then you don't have to go through all this medium or middleman. So where you directly connect it to your wallet. So for example, if you want to buy uh, let's say a book, or for example, you can usually you need to go through the PayPal or the TransferWise or other medium middle, how to say it, like organization. But now for the Web 3.0, you can directly go through the web. So you directly go to the wallet itself. So you don't have to go through the middleman already. So, and the next one is, yeah, before that, I would like to explain what is NFXT and what is the Detik. So like Miss Bea already mentioned, the Detik is a token based on Binance Smart Chain. So blockchain have a big chain. So you imagine like block and chain, right? So block, usually they store all the information inside, like I said, like the cloud. So you put all the thing online and on the cloud. But then all of these block is being monitored autonomously. So meaning there's no centralized authority, there's no middleman. So it's usually peer-to-peer. So for example, if someone wants to make business with me, so they need to go through the payment with me directly. They don't have to go through the PayPal. They don't have to go through the, let's say, I don't know, more like Facebook, for example, Twitter, all this centralized organization. And yeah, NFXT. So I've been mentioned just now also about NFST. So NFST is a community of forward-thinking creative who have come together to play and work towards experimenting, educating, and raising awareness. And also looking at ways to work among us to come up with amazing artworks together and for each other. So what we're doing for NFXT is like we try to assemble all these creative people. So not per se only in the art scene, but also in the any in the creative industry. So for example, like the musician, actor, architect, anything that related to creative, we try to assemble and then we try to educate people as much people as we can so that people understand the core or the fundamental of the blockchain. Because usually people uh, understand NFT just to cash grab money. So it's actually more than that because you need to understand the technology behind it before you understand the whole system. So let's put it like this way. So this is the blockchain. And then the second will be the cryptocurrency, where you buy a cryptocurrency from the blockchain. And then there's NFT, where you buy NFT from the cryptocurrency. So you see the step, they have 3 steps. So usually people just skip these 2 steps and they just go to the NFT because they want to have a cash grab money. So it's actually for me, I always say to people, you need to understand the technology behind it first before you go in depth in the NFT scene, because otherwise you can lose a lot of money, and also you don't know what to do actually. So that's where the NFXT comes and the Detik comes. We try to assemble all these creative people, the investors and the collectors. So because in this NFT, after this, we'll explain more about the NFT. Because the community, what we're doing right now is we are doing by the community centric. So we're focusing on the community itself, where we want to educate people. We want to make sure people understand fully about this, and then to make sure people go in the right direction, because this can also be a dangerous path, because some people, this is very new in this industry, so we want to make sure that people understand before they chime into this field. And yes, now we're going to the NFT. What is the NFT? NFT is a non-fungible token, where it's a non-fungible asset. So it's a digital asset. So fungible is a physical asset, where you can see like real estate, car, like anything that you can see and touch. That's what we call the fungible. And then non-fungible is something that is digital. So anything that is digital, we can be non-fungible. So for example, like videos, GIF, anything, any digital files, it can be NFT. So now we're gonna look at the one of the video, so that explain more in depth about the NFT and the advantage and the disadvantage of NFT.
Meet Susan, an aspiring painter. She wishes to conduct an online painting exhibition for all her digital artworks. However, as the exhibition is online, she is worried that her paintings won't be secure, as anyone could easily forge or replicate them. Her friend Mark came to her rescue with an idea of NFT. He suggested that Susan could buy NFTs for all her paintings, as NFTs are trustworthy, easily transferable, and will also maintain her ownership rights on her artworks. Susan had no idea what NFTs were, so Mark stepped ahead and explained it to her. NFTs turn your digital assets into one of a kind by creating a unique digital signature, which defines the ownership of your assets, and that can be bought and sold for real money, cryptocurrency, or any other asset, like a non-fungible token, aka NFT. Non-fungible tokens means that they are not interchangeable, and each of them represents unique assets owned by a specific person. On the other hand, fungible tokens are interchangeable and can be divided into smaller units to form the same value. For example, a $100 bill is fungible, as you can exchange it with 5 $20 bills or 2 $50 bills. But the painting of the Last Supper is non-fungible, as it cannot be generated in bulk. Even if it is copied, it will not be authentic. Each NFT contains distinguishable information like who owns the digital asset and who sold it, making them distinct and easily verifiable. As it is impossible to forge such a certificate, it will secure her painting's originality. After learning what NFT is, Susan was curious to know how exactly NFT works. NFT basically creates a blockchain-based digital certificate for your digital collectibles, including games, music, art, and many more. This certificate gives your artwork a unique identity. The underlying technology and the programming language used by NFTs are the same as other cryptocurrencies, such as blockchain and the programming language Ethash or Script. NFT majorly exists on Ethereum blockchain, a distributed public ledger that records all the transactions. However, NFT is quite different from these cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin and Ethereum are fungible tokens, which means if you trade Bitcoin or Ethereum for one another, you will have the same value or item in return, basically money. On the other hand, NFT is a unique token. Therefore, if you try to trade it, you may end up with something completely different in your hands. CryptoPunks is a remarkable example of NFT. It enables you to buy, sell, and store 10,000 collectibles with the proof of ownership being stored on the Ethereum blockchain. After exploring how NFTs work, Susan was convinced and bought NFTs for all her paintings. Due to this, her artworks were secured from any kind of forgery and also gave her artworks a particular value. This contributed to increased sales too, as everyone was easily able to buy the artwork without any fear. All in all, her exhibition was a complete success. Similarly, NFT has proved itself to be a boon in the lives of many others, like Jack Dorsey, the CEO and co-founder of Twitter with his very first and famous tweet, just setting up my Twitter, and Vignesh Sundarasan, famously known as Metakovan, who bought $69.3 million worth of NFT art on Beeple. Owing to its increasing popularity, people are now willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for NFTs. NFT has enhanced media exposure and special perks for aspiring artists like Susan on social media. This popularity of NFT creates new opportunities for new art platforms, motivating people to buy art from internet platforms and promoting copyright or originality of digital assets. So, here is a question for you. Meet.
Okay, so like it's like the video mentioned before, it's a digital asset. So this is like the I showed to you, like this is the graph that we can show, like the what is fungible and what is non-fungible. So as you can see from here, the fungible is the currency, and the gold. So like I mentioned before, like all the physical asset. So all the physical asset is considered as fungible. Also, currency, like I said, like the digital currency or the normal currency is also considered as fungible. And the non-fungible is the digital asset that have utility behind it. So for example, like the artwork, and also for example, like the ticketing. So if you go, because right now you usually, if you go to the festival or anything like that, they have the all the scan QR code, correct? So now this QR code, it can be an NFT where you can have your own asset. So it's a digital asset of yours. So where, for example, if you go to certain festival, they already know that you own the ticket from it because they have all this store on the cloud, like I said, the big cloud just now. So this is what where we call it the NFT. All the digital asset, you can keep it, and then even though you already own it, they still have the value inside it. So imagine like you own a Mona Lisa. You know Mona Lisa. You see all the the Mona Lisa is very good artist, a very good painting, but you don't know who owns it. So with a digital, usually you when you put it online, for example, you put it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Usually when you put all online, you people can right click and save it, right? And then they can say, oh, it's mine now. But for the NFT, because of the algorithm and then because of the smart contract that we mentioned just now, that's where the smart contract you have the proof of ownership. So let's say if you post it on the marketplace, people know that's yours. So when someone, let's say, try to steal your artwork, for example, people already know because everything is stored on the cloud. So like I said, this NFT is usually to solve like the copyright issue and also to solve all the middleman issue so that that's where there's no markup, there's no like high royalty. Oh no, sorry, there's no high like let's say like extra fees or something like that. And then the other one will be the digital one. So the non-fungible is also they have a physical one, like I mentioned, like the physical artwork, physical house and everything. The digital one, it also have a digital artwork and also digital real estate and also the metaverse, the game. Because right now you play the game usually, but then all because of the web 3.0 right now, all this game that you play, it can be an digital asset. So it's a similar thing that you play a game and then you buy a skin and then you buy some item in the game. That's what we call it an NFT. But then now they already can evolve to be you can purchase it directly and then you can even sell or trade it. So that's Web 3.0. So what is the best part about the NFT is the decentralization. So the decentralization is the process by which the activities of an organization, particularly those regarding planning and decision making, are distributed or delegated away from a central authoritative location or group. So like I mentioned before, many people use this NFT. Many people understand about the blockchain technology, the Web 3.0, because they want to have the decentralization, where they don't have any authority to authorize or to centralize all this blockchain. For example, like you heard about Facebook going to Meta, right? So that's actually a decentralization moving forward to this decentralization, where I mentioned to you just now about the Web 3.0. So we're going to the era that the new internet era. So where you can directly connect your personal wallet into the virtual space. So you can buy directly, but at the same time, you can also play the game while earning the money. So this is where the decentralization happens. So there's no centralized authority will control or anything like that. So you play, you earn. You trade, you earn. So basically, you can already work from home because this is basically like a remote work if you want to say in the simple way. So the root problem with a conventional currency is all the trust that requires to make it work. The central bank must be trusted not to debase the currency, but the history of fiat currency is full of breaches of that trust. What we meaning by that? Because the inflation right now, as you can see in this world, all the inflation go up and down. So the digital currency comes where you can also have this fiat currency, but also you have the digital currency. Because for me personally, I always say to people, you need to understand both sides. So you can also go in the cryptocurrency, but you can also have the fiat currency. So when you have the both side and you have a balance of both currency, it's even easier for you to make it, because also to have like a financial freedom, if I can call that. Why? Because all this decentralization, Web 3.0 is worldwide. So, for example, if I want to send my money to my friend in the Netherlands, for example, I need to go through all these transaction fees. I need to go through all these high transaction fee, the conversion fees and the transaction fees, correct? But with this decentralization Web 3.0, you can send only for one transaction and directly to that person. So it's a peer-to-peer transaction. Like I mentioned, the result is a distributed system with no single point of failure. User hold the crypto keys to their own money and transact directly with each other. Like I mentioned just now, you can directly transaction to each other with the help of P2P network to check for double spending. So P2P, like I mentioned just now, is peer-to-peer. So let's say if I have a deal with someone, I can directly ask that person like, okay, bro, I already sent this amount to you. Maybe can you check? And then if he checks, and then the transaction is go through, everything is already done. You don't have to go through with TAC, with all this, like to how to say, like the double confirm, because everything is already with your own power and your own wallet. Yeah. So what is minting? So I probably know like one of you guys or any of you guys heard about minting, NFT, mint NFT. You heard about that term. So the minting NFT is upload when it comes to simple words. So you have all these files, digital files, doesn't really matter, GIF, JPEG, MP4, MP3, PNG, PDF, anything that related to digital asset, you can upload it to NFT marketplace. So like I mentioned, all these blockchain, they have all different currencies, right? So all different currency have different marketplace to buy NFTs. So they have there's a lots of like NFT marketplace. There's a lot of cryptocurrency. So what you can put on this NFT marketplace is like I mentioned, the digital file, the metadata, and the NFT. So where the IPFS will be stored in the blockchain. So what is IPFS? So IPFS is the metadata where you the only one, the owner, the proof of ownership, you're the only one who can own that. So for example, if you buy the artwork from me, you will get that digital version only for you. So no one can have it. So that thing you can use it for commercial, you can use it for advertising. It doesn't really matter because you own it. So what is the best part about the NFT? Because you have the unlockable content. So usually when you see all this advertisement, you see, okay, they have a teaser, and then after that you see the full product, correct? So it's similar to NFT. You can also, let's say, if you want to put a short film, for example, you can put a teaser for like 15 seconds, and then you can say, if you buy this, you can see the whole short film. So that's what we call it in the utility part. So the people who get the access where they own your artworks. So for example, some people also have like the a physical artwork to share to the collectors. Some people have like, for example, a ticket going somewhere if they own the NFT. So the NFT itself is not only a picture, it's not only a JPEG or image, it's the uh, artwork, the utility, and the project itself. So usually what people focus, you heard about the NFT, there's a expensive NFT, people buy the bought it because everyone's buying it, the celebrity buying it. Why the prices go really high? Because of the excess in that NFT collection. So for example, if I have the collection, let's say ape, for example, I have this ape collection, and then this ape collection also, one of the celebrity bought it, and maybe businessman bought it also. So this collection, I already have the access to the other holders, meaning I can make a connection. I can also try to apply for any opportunity of my business opportunity. So that's where the access happening. So it's kind of like we can put it uh in this way. Let's say it's kind of like an exclusive membership. So it's kind of like if you go to a clubhouse and then you have like the membership exclusive, right? And then you can go to certain place. It's exactly the same, but this thing is just online. So you have this big community with a big collection. That's where you kind of have a connection and have a networking, have a business opportunity with all these people that hold the NFT. So it's not only the a piece of picture, but also the utility behind it is the most important part, because that's where people buy NFT. People don't buy NFT just because they like the artwork, but the project behind it, what they can offer. Yeah. So it's similar thing like you go to, uh, let's say retail, and then you have like the shopping retail. They have a gift of member card. You can get certain discount and stuff. It's exactly the same. So it's just a form of digital. That's it. Okay. So I already explained some about the NFT. So we also have the crypto wallet. So like I said, the crypto wallet is just similar to the same wallet as you have right now, the Maybank to your wallet, the CMB clicks or whatever. So it's an online digital wallet. So inside here, you can store all the cryptocurrency that you want. So you can also store the NFT that you want, but at the same time, you can also use the decentralized apps where you can trade in and out the cryptocurrency. So like usually I use only three. I use MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and Temple Wallet. So this three is like usually main people to use it. So probably you want to know how is the security about the wallet. So every wallet that you made or every wallet that you sign up, you will have this seed phrase. So what we call it private key. So this seed phrase and private key is randomly generated. It's autonomous. So every single time people create a wallet, they're gonna have this random seed phrase or private key to give it to people. So this thing only you can have it. So no one can have like the access to it. No one can go through your wallet. No one can even touch your money. Only you can have it, unless if you give this password to other people. That's where the compromised wallet happen. That's where people can hack your wallet. That's where the security is not good. Usually, like I always say to people, because this Web 3.0 is where you are your own bank. So you need to make sure that you send to the right address. You need to make sure that you don't go through this hacking website or some phishing email or some phishing website. You need to always monitor which website you go, because that's where people get hacked easily. They just click the link everywhere. So that's where this always to people, always see the link, what link you click, and what can, because usually the link can compromise the whole laptop or the whole device that you have. So this is very crucial for people to understand, that you need to keep it for yourself. Try to, I always say to people, you can keep it digitally, but you can, I always say to people, put it physical, digital, and that thing is kind of like, we call it like surat wasiat lah, if you want to give it to other people, let's say in the future, right? Uh, okay, so I want to sell my artwork. So usually people always think, okay, just put it online and sell it, and people will buy it. So there's a lot of things to encounter before you chime into this NFT space or this NFT marketplace. So first thing first, you need to understand about what is format would you want to sell, and what is the medium do you want to use. Because like I mentioned before, all these blockchain have a different chain and different cryptocurrency. You should know which one would you want to use. You should know which let's say financial that you think is suitable for you. And then also you need to also understand about the pricing, because usually people just think like, okay, if I put it online, I can directly put it like crazy a high price and then it's gonna be sold out. Usually it doesn't go in that way, because people will want to understand who are you usually. Because if I want to buy an artwork, for example, I want to buy from the artist, I want to know what is the artist doing? What is the capability of this artist? Should I buy it because I like it, or should I buy it because I want to invest it? There's two different things. Because usually people want to sell it because they don't want, they just want to sell it. They don't want to make it like a project, for example, you know. But nowadays, since the NFT world is booming, many people already start to chime in this field. For example, like the artists, the celebrities, the what we call it, like the sportsmen, all these people already chime because they know also the brand, because they know this Web 3.0 is basically a new internet. So that's where you can sell a lot of things online, because usually, like I always say to people, why you should put it on the Instagram where you cannot make money, if you put it online on the blockchain where you can make money, you know? Because at the end of the day, the Instagram and the Twitter have your proof of ownership of your artwork or your work, but you don't have any right towards it. So that's where I like about the decentralization or the NFT part, because people have their own security and their own, let's say, like the, how to say, like their own security and measure, you know, so that people know what to sell and what to buy. And it depends on the person itself or the artist itself, wherever they want to sell it, high or low. So it depends on the individual. So also some people put in lots of edition. So for example, Adidas already put one of the NFT with 2,400 edition in the world. So if you own that NFT, you can get like the 1 year of free Adidas clothing attire. So that's the thing that what makes people wants to buy NFT, because usually they don't want to buy the JPEG, but they want to buy the access behind it. Imagine if you spend like $200 or $300 for an NFT, where you can get like 1 year of your clothing. Would you want that? Some people would do want that, you know. So that's the thing that you kind of can need to consider, you know, what NFT to buy, what can they offer. Usually I always say to people, always invest on the project and the artist itself rather than the artwork, because the artwork people can steal from everywhere. You know that because this plagiarism culture is just everywhere. People just plagiarize so many things. So usually what I did, I always try to understand who is the artist, who is the creator, and who managed the project. Once I have those things, then I try to conclude whether I want to buy the NFT or not. Yeah. So apart of that, they also have IP, like I mentioned before, the IPFS. So the IPFS where the certification of the IP to the owner, and then the shilling meanings is a promotion. So it's similar thing like you make a normal business, you promote your product, right? Similar things, you promote your artwork to the collectors. So the concept is the same as you buy and sell normal product, the normal business that you made, the physical business, but this is being made in digital. That's it. So you do promotion online. Usually people will go on Twitter. On this Web 3.0, people use Twitter a lot more because they already try to integrate the Web 3.0, like I mentioned to you, that you can connect directly to your wallet. You can directly connect to your wallet through this Twitter account, so that Twitter account knows what NFT that you own. So certain NFT plays a big role because you have, like I said, the exclusive members or exclusive access. So this is why all this you see all this celebrity buy NFT, because mostly not because of the JPEG but the community and the access itself. And then lastly will be the marketplace. Like I mentioned, you need to understand the marketplace that you want to be in. So you need to understand, you need to know, okay, firstly, you need to know which blockchain you want to do, you want to use. So from the blockchain, you need to understand the cryptocurrency that you want to, let's say, invest or you want to buy, because from there you can buy the NFT. And different currency have a different value. Yeah. So some are expensive, some are cheap. So that you need to do your own research where you need to search, yeah, which cryptocurrency and which blockchain would you want to time into. All right, so for the types of NFT artworks, so in the NFT scene you have five types of NFT. First is the original artworks, where the artist or any musician make their own original artworks. That's the type of NFT. And then second one is the collectibles. So the collectibles usually people make with a lots of edition. So for example, this uh, like famous artists make one collection of, for example, uh, animals, for example. So all these collectibles can also be, they have several animals. So that one you can brainstorm yourself, which part would you want to do. And a PFP is the most famous one where you can see everyone buying it because you can use it as a profile picture. So this is where I say to you, like Web 2.0 and 3.0. Okay, imagine 2.0, we used to have a selfie, we take selfie and we put in the picture, right? We put in the profile picture. Nowadays, we buy an NFT and we use that NFT and the digital asset that we have, and then we use it as a profile picture. Because for example, if you spend like 20K of 20K dollars of money, worth of money for an NFT art, you for sure want to use that profile picture, right? Because you spend a lot of money on it. So this is where people want to buy more, because people want to have a lot of profile picture and then they can just change the profile picture where that picture have value on it, where that picture have like a utility on it, and people, because if you list it, if you sell it online, people will buy it. So that's what makes people want to chime into the PFP. And then the next one will be metaverse asset. So what is the metaverse? So as you can heard about the Facebook mentioning about meta. So metaverse is a virtual reality. So like you play game and then you play online game, for example, you talk with other people online and everything, and you see all this inside this game with all the buildings and the cars and the character, all these clothing, all this metaverse asset, it can be sell online nowadays. So like I mentioned to you just now, all the things that you buy from the game, for example, like the skin, all the voice and everything, anything that related to digital, it can be sell online right now. So this is the beauty of the NFT, because everything that digital you can trade and sell. It doesn't really have to go through the authority. It doesn't have to go through this PayPal, for example. It doesn't have to go through this Facebook, for example, because nowadays whenever you want to like join like a website or anything like that, you usually need to sign in with Facebook, Twitter, or like Google, for example. So that is centralized platform. So which 3.0 right now, if you go into the website, for example, the Metaverse, for example, you can directly connect to your wallet, and then you can buy all those assets in the website or the Metaverse. You can directly buy it online without having waiting for, like, you know, the transaction after 12. You cannot transact the money and stuff, right? That kind of problem, you don't have to deal with it. You can transact the money anytime you want. And then the last one for the type of NFT is the interactive. So usually you play games, and then you play the 3D. You can see from the different angle or perspective. They can be also NFT. So usually people with like, for example, the interior design, because I have interior design friends that actually create using his clients' digital 3D modeling to NFT. So people can be inside that room and then own that room and then put all the other NFT in that room, if you get what I mean. So that NFT can make people want to buy it, because they can show other people like, okay, I have this space, so I can put all my NFT there, and I can showcase to other people. So if other people want to see my collection, they can see the whole space with the whole land, for example. So that's what we call it, uh, digital land, the real estate land. Yeah, the real estate asset. All right, so we go for the next one will be, what is the NFT use case? So like I mentioned just now, it can be art, it can be gaming, it can be metaverse, the real estate, the ticketing, and the certification. Okay, I want to focus on the ticketing right now, because just now I mentioned to you about the festival and everything, right? Because right now they have like because since they have a corona, I think it was the first wave of corona. I remember I went to this Meta Festival, Meta Festival event, and what they're doing is whoever earned that ticket, he can talk to, or he can connect to the for example, the DJ itself. So that time I remember it was Steve Aoki and that Mao 5, if I'm not mistaken. So that time those people who have the ticket and have joined the festival can earn a free NFT. So all of this free NFT, what we people call it, is just a piece of image, is actually uh, a utility or the digital asset that other people might want it. So, for example, there's a diehard fan like really like the Steve Aoki NFT, and I have one of the Steve Aoki NFT. People will buy it from me, and if I put any amount to that NFT, people will still buy it. So that's because of, maybe if they buy the NFT, they can also like join the other event of Steve Aoki. So that ticketing process is kind of like similar to scan QR code. So nowadays you don't have to have a physical ticket anymore. Everything is online. Everything from email, and then you scan your QR code. So it's exactly the same concept. It's just a different what we call it, different system. All right. So for the marketplaces, like I mentioned just now, there's so many marketplaces. So now they have like Hiketano, OpenSea. OpenSea is the most famous uh, like marketplace, because usually people start with OpenSea, Rarible, Solsi, NFT, uh, Foundation, Fikatanung, LuxRare, Magic Eden, NFTB, Makerplace, Super Rare, and Non-Urgent. So from this, all these marketplaces, like I mentioned, they have a different blockchain. So for example, these two are from Tezos blockchain, and these three are from Ethereum blockchain, and these two are from Binance, and like Pentas is also from Binance, and Detik is also going to be on Binance. So this, you like I said, you need to understand the blockchain first. Which blockchain would you want to would you want to invest, or which blockchain would you want to support to support the ecosystem? Then understand the cryptocurrency where you earn the digital currency, because usually people convert it from the fiat money to the digital currency to buy an NFT. So you need to understand step by step. Usually people skip these two steps and then they directly go to the NFT, and then there will be so much confusion over there because it's related. So if you understand those two, automatically you understand the NFT part. So this is what I always explain to people. I try to put everything all included because this is very broad topic, but I try to take all the key points so that you guys understand more in depth about this. So yeah, and this is the metaverse. So the metaverse is a similar to like game, but you can, I don't know if you play Habbo before. It's like a, yeah, it's a similar thing to Habbo. So usually you play the game, but you interact with other people, correct? So it's a similar thing, but this thing is with 3D. You can communicate with people, you can sell your NFT, you can talk to people, you can showcase your artwork. Everything is online. And this is also the best part about this because you can also integrate it with VR, so that the like the Mark Zuckerberg mentioned about Meta, they want to make sure everyone owns Oculus so that everyone can interact with each other virtually. So it's happening right now. So all of this metaverse is actually for the people to meet other people. For example, because I just came back from the Netherlands, so I have lots of time in the Netherlands. So for example, if I want to talk to my friend in the Netherlands, I would rather go in the metaverse and then like I talk personally to that person rather than you FaceTiming. It's a two different feeling, you know. Because for example, if you have like a VR and then you in that space and then you talk to a person, you feel like you're talking to that person in real life, but it's virtual. So it's a different feeling from what we're having right now. But because we're having right now is just a digital webinar or like a digital online meeting. So it's a different from if you meet me in personal, you know, the gesture, the talk, the presentation is totally different. Uh, so this is what I said. Usually I always say to people, it's kind of like combination of game, social network, and also Google Drive because you can put everything on this metaverse, and then you can create everything on the metaverse. You heard about Minecraft, correct? So all this Minecraft builder or the Minecraft creator usually in this metaverse because they can create a building or they can create something on the metaverse where people actually pay for that service. For example, I have a land and I want to create like a building on that land. People actually pay a builder like a Minecraft to build and then get money out of it. So this is what we call it financial freedom. So we want to have a peer-to-peer transaction. We don't have to go through this licensing or this because as long I know the work is done, is that's what I want to know. Then I will pay for it, you know. So this is the thing that people need to understand, and people need to what we call it, people need to do more research on it because it's not only selling online digital asset, it's mostly about understanding and the how to say to support the artists behind this project. Yeah. And then lastly, I think for sure you want to know where to buy the crypto. Okay, so you have bank. If a normal real life, you have bank, you have normal wallet. Bank and your wallet. It's a similar thing in the crypto. You have a crypto exchange and you have crypto wallet. So crypto wallet is the one I mentioned to you just now. You can store all this crypto currency inside your wallet, but the crypto exchange is the bank. So basically, you buy the money or you convert the money from the bank. So these three are Securities Commission SC regulated. So it's under law in Malaysia. So you can maybe you heard about it, Luno, Synergy, and Tokenized Exchange. So this is been taxed by HDN. So this is like legit. If you use this platform, you don't have any problem with the bank or anything like that. The only thing is the tax will be a little bit higher because it's being regulated by the government, by the tax. So it's already centralized. Like I mentioned to you just now, we want something like decentralized, right? So when things is already centralized, of course you still can use it. You still can trade, you still can sell, buy the cryptocurrency, but the price will be a different from the market floor price. So they also have like the spot market. So the spot market is like immediate market. So it's like person to person, like I mentioned to you. Let's say if I want to sell this USDT is USD token. So I want to sell this USDT to certain people, and the people can directly buy it from me without go through all this middleman, all this centralized organization. Uh, so from here, you can use Huobi, you can use KuCoin, and you can use Zerion. So like this is the example that I use. At least I also use Binance, of course, but Binance in Malaysia, people, I mean, the government wouldn't allow it since I use it from Europe, so I already have like the access to it. But for in Malaysia, I would go for Huobi and KuCoin because this is the less price or less, how to say, less tax, I would say. And Luno tokenized exchange and Synergy is like the regulated one. So this, all of this, you can buy anywhere you want. You can search it. You can make a research on it. You don't have to buy it directly. Usually, what I always say to people, I always say to people to like, but always buy the stable coin. So what is the stable coin meaning? It's actually a similar currency as our fiat currency. So for example, USD, right? So people know USD price will be stagnant, will be stay to the level that they're not going to change. It's not volatile. So usually I always say to people, if you have money, if you want to invest, if you want to make NFT, buy the cryptocurrency first, but buy the stable coin first, so that the stable coin, the value will be stay in that sense. Yeah. So if you let's say buy a stable coin, and then after that the price drops for the cryptocurrency, you can buy the crypto, and then after that you can buy the NFT. So like I said, it needs to be step by step. I always mention this to people, like if you want to go chime into this cryptocurrency, the NFT, please understand the blockchain, because blockchain is very, very important to understand the NFT and the cryptocurrency, because that's the system. Uh, so also my lecturer mentioned to me, like, to let you guys know, like, this blockchain is a new era. Uh, Probably some organizations still want to understand what is blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, but this is the new internet era. So I think in 2 or 3 years from now, most of the agency, most of the organization will use cryptocurrency, or will use NFT as their brand awareness, because nowadays all these big brand already start to own or make NFT, because they know they have a market, they know they have a new target market, and they know the system is very sophisticated. Yeah. So I think that's all from me today. I think I talked too much also. I hope you guys are still will bear with me. And yeah, I think now they have a Q&A session. If anyone wants to ask any question, you can ask any question.
Yes, so thank you, Mr. Ibrahim, for all the speech and the explanations on NFT, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and everything. So now I'm going to open the floor for everyone that who want to have to. You are welcome to unmute your mic and ask Mr. Ibrahim itself about all the NFTs and anything you have any questions, just
Yeah,
ask. Open your mic. Kalau nak pakai bahasa, okay, no problem.
no problem. I can
No
speak
problem.
Bahasa, I can English also, no problem.
Kita rojak pun boleh.
From Ole, yes.
Alright, alright. Okay, hello, Cik Ibrahim, eh?
Yes, saya.
Yes, okay, I'm gonna ask you questions. Okay, as you were saying about the metaverse and the Decentraland, and we know about the sandbox and stuff. So, with this current technology, with the Facebook horizon and stuff, for your opinion, how far would you think it will change the life of people and the society itself?
I think, like I mentioned before, I think it depends on the uh, what is the brand are doing. For example, like the Adidas just now I mentioned, whoever owns the NFT from Adidas can have like the 1 year of clothing for free. So that kind of benefit makes people wants to buy the NFT, you know. So it's not only like the piece of JPEG, and also like it's affected people in terms of the opportunity and the networking. So for example, if I own, because I'm an NFT collector. So for example, if I own one of the collection that have like a big impact in the community, if I automatically own one of the NFT collection, I have the access towards the collection or towards the other holders. Or from the access, you can get a lot of benefit from that, because some of the benefit are from the in real life event, of course, and most of the benefit are from the digital. For example, you can get a free NFT where the NFT already have a value automatically. So if you get a free NFT, you can sell it directly with like some amount that you don't think that amount will be in that NFT, if you get what I mean.
Okay, Cik Ibrahim.
Yeah. If you have any other question? Is that answer your question, by the way, though?
Yeah, but because for me and other students and people who are listening to this, because a lot of us are actually still new in this NFT blockchains and crypto understanding. So for us, we are seeing this is like you are saying, this is the Web 3.0. So anything could happen, you know. So like a lot of us are trying to get the input. Where would it lead us to, you know?
Ah,
So
yeah. Okay. Let's put it like this way. Because nowadays, usually when you want to put it, let's say if you want to buy something online, shopping online, you need to go through to sign in with Facebook. You need to sign in with Twitter or Gmail, correct? So that's Web 2.0. So Web 3.0 is actually you don't have to go through this middleman. You directly go through your own wallet. So whenever you have the personal wallet and you have the personal passport password and stuff, so you have the how to say, the access towards it. So all these other centralized organization can access all the information that you have if you go through the certain website, if you want to buy something from the website. So it's a similar thing like, yeah, why would you sign in with your Facebook? But people still doing it, right? So it's similar thing right now. The Facebook already changed to Meta, and the Meta itself, people say, yeah, why you want to change to Meta? Facebook is already good, but they know because we're going to this virtual reality, and nowadays, because every country have a COVID situation, it can also boosting up all this digital marketing, digital advertisement, all this digital stuff will be booming in 3 to 5 years, in my opinion. Especially with the big brand already start to uh, be in this space. For example, Nike, Adidas, Puma, Gucci, like all other, like Tesla, even Tesla already start also want to make like an NFT. So all these big brands already start to chime in this field. So personally, for me, it's kind of like, yeah, if people don't want to understand now, people will get it later eventually. So that's why I always tell to other people, like, make sure to understand properly about the system and the technology before you go into the NFT. Because yeah, I know NFT is very hype right now. People say like, oh yeah, you can make lots of money with NFT, and also it goes with the news just recently. So this creating hype, I know it's good, but then you need to understand the fundamental before you go into the hype. That's where people lost a lot of money because they think, oh, I want to buy everything I want, and then I hope all that I buy, everything is gonna be high valuable, and then at some point you don't see, oh, there's no value inside the NFT, so you lost money. So all of these things makes people want to think twice before they want to buy. So it's similar thing when you want to buy like online shopping, right? So when you want to buy online shopping, you or sometimes you think twice, you know, you put on the basket and then you thought like, oh, okay, you want to buy this, but certain of stuff you don't want to buy, you know. So it's a similar mechanism, but then the difference is you can put your personal wallet directly to the online website, and then you can buy everything online basically. And I think that's the future because nowadays also we use everything online. For example, if you want to send money to me, for example, you directly send it to the QR code, right? The my bank to you or the transfer, everything is still digital. So for me personally, I think like, yeah, if everything is digital, I can see this thing can happen in 2 or 5 years later, you know? And that's my personal opinion because when I study in Europe, all of these are new also to me because we've been study about this. We've been studying about Bitcoin. We've been studying about all this blockchain technology because we want to make people understand. We make people aware about the technology before they're aware about the hype. That's the most important part because hype you can always chime into anytime, but the fundamental is the key to understand the hype. So I hope that's answer your question.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. I think that is a really insightful talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Mr. Ibrahim, is it okay if
yeah.
you unshare the screen
Oh
so
yeah,
that we
for
can
sure.
have a full screen of you while you're explaining the
Oh
whole?
yeah, for
Oh,
sure, for sure.
yeah, thank you.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
so uh, while we wait for other people to ask any questions, so can we go to online questions from Facebook? So now
yeah.
we have a question from uh, Aisha, from Aisha Yahya. So her question is, do artists have any sorts of copyright over stolen art that has been converted to NFT? So,
Sorry, say it again. What's
okay.
the
Do artists have any sorts of copyright over stolen art that has been converted to NFT?
yeah, for the artist itself, like I said, always focusing on the IPFS. So usually what people do for the artists, when they want to sell it on the NFT marketplace, they put it on the IPFS cloud. So this is like I said, the blockchain cloud. So you put there so that to show to people that you are the first one who put that artwork in the blockchain. So whenever your stuff in the blockchain, no one can change it, right? So let's say if you put it like last year or last 2 years, people will know in the metadata we show like, okay, from 2 years ago, this person put this NFT in the blockchain. So people can see it from true metadata. So usually for the artists, when they want to create or they want to publish their work, usually they store it first on the IPFS cloud, IPFS Pinata cloud, we call it. So from there, then they put it on the NFT marketplace so that they can also send the Pinata link, the IPFS link to the new collectors. So let's say if I buy it, I will get the link, and then that link, I have the full version of the file, but at the same time, I can use that file for my commercial, for example, for my advertisement, for example. So you don't have the copyright already after you sell it, but you can get the royalties. So this is the best part about NFT, because the royalty will go on by on and on, you know. So for example if someone Bea, for example, like says, sell it to me. So 10% of the royalty will go to Bea. And then I sell it to other people. Bea still get the royalty. And then it goes on and on and on. So that's the best part about the NFT, because the royalty goes on. So you might not get the copyright already, but you have the royalty, because usually the artists nowadays, when they sell it online, they got the royalty only once. So after the royalty, after you sell it, then the collector said to other people, you don't get the royalty anymore. But the NFT, because of the metadata, because of the blockchain data, so people, the smart contract, that's the smart contract. So that smart contract is actually create all the data that you should have to blockchain. Yeah, hope that answer your question.
Yeah, Aisha, I hope that answers the question. So when Mr. Ibrahim was mentioning about royalty for your artwork, all I hear is cha-ching, baby, money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have like next question from Riza Al Mufazal. He asked, can a person take my NFT and w- put just put just one dot on the art and sell it as his NFT?
Yeah, you people can do that, but usually the community will know which artwork are from.
Mm.
So usually people will, like I said, usually when the collectors or the investor wants to buy your artwork, they would want to see who are you, where are you from, what do you do. If I like your artwork, why did I like your artwork? Do you really engaging with the community? Do you help people a lot? Those kind of things the collector would want to see, you know, not just you put it online and then that's it. You don't have to do anything and then you thought like, oh, everyone gonna buy it. No, because it's similar to this normal business. You still need to promote your products. So imagine like the NFT is your product. You need to promote your product. You need to tell to your people like, oh, see my product. This is my product. Look at it. Do you like it? Or if not good, what is the feedback towards it, so that next time I can make even better. You know, all these things. The engagement part is the very crucial for NFT world, because if you have the organic connection with your collectors, trust me, your artwork collection will be sold out, because that's what people wants, you know, because people wants to make sure like you buy with the right person, not just a plagiarism guy or some copy paste guy like that, you know. Yeah, hope that answer your question.
Okay, so before we go for another round of question from social media, is there anyone else want to ask any questions from the audience in Webex?
Can I have another question?
Oh yeah, sure, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So we know that we can have multiple wallets inside inside the blockchain. So is there is if I have more than one wallet, can anyone like just go and see my wallet, or is it, what, like I can have like a secret wallet for that?
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
I understand your question. Okay, usually what people do in the blockchain, okay, what is the best part about blockchain? Because it's very transparent. So I can check if, let's say, I have the information of your wallet address, I can check your transaction, you know. So everyone can check it, but everyone didn't know who is the owner of the address. You get what I mean? So usually people have multiple wallet, because some of the wallet probably they're gonna use it to store NFT, for example. Some of the wallet they use only to buy NFT. Some of the wallet maybe only to send money. So people use because the crypto wallet you can make it anytime you want. So you can make it as much as you can. But like I said, if you forgot the seed phrase password just now, the private key, then you will lose everything. So that's why I always tell to people like max I would use 3. You know, like one is really for your saving and one is for your current and another one is for backup. You know, but if you make more than 3, you can, but the risk is also high because you know you need to store all this and then you're gonna forget, oh, what is the password, and then suddenly you lost the money, you know, just by forgetting the password to log in. You know, so I always mention to people like, yeah, always make one like a current one and one saving one and another one just for backup, just to be safe, so that whenever your wallet is compromised by other people or by the hacker, for example, you can directly send all this wallet to another wallet, because at the end of the day, all this is peer to peer, so you can send it whenever you want without waiting for the, you know, sometimes kalau dekat bank, you need to, kalau lepas pukul 12, sometimes dia cakap, okay, the next day baru boleh transact. Correct. So benda-benda yang for this one, you can do anytime you want. Yeah.
Encik Ibrahim.
Problem.
Okay. So we have one more question from the audience, Facebook, and his name is Muhammad Afif Muhammad Mazlan. So, bagaimana sistem blockchain ni membantu ekonomi negara? Sebab sekarang kita masih ada orang tengah untuk uruskan ini. Tapi bila beli peer to peer ni, government akan rugi gila kan? Atau government akan dikenakan tax per transaction.
Yeah, actually, that's what the government wants. Actually, they cannot do anything about it. But then the only thing they can do is tax the person. So because for example, like in this crypto, because this crypto, benda ni dia tak legalize fully lagi dekat Malaysia. In Europe, yes, because some of the bank directly can link to the crypto punya exchange. But in Malaysia, it's not yet. So what I can see, because apa yang government boleh buat is just to tax the the transaction je lah, sama macam tadi yang saya tunjuk. It's actually from the Luno and the Synergy, and then what is the other one, I think tokenized exchange. So those 3 exchange, the 3 exchange is actually regulated by the government, but then the only cons is you pay the transaction fee higher lah. It's a similar thing like you pay the tax higher. That's what people want in the crypto. Actually, people want to try to run away from the tax, but then if you want to go through with the tax with Malaysia punya law, it's okay, but you just pay the tax higher je lah. Itu je the difference. But of course, for example, macam in Europe also they have, like for example, I'm using Binance and I'm using the Dutch punya bank. So from the Dutch punya bank to Binance, they can already integrate. So I can buy directly from the Binance or any crypto I want using my bank account from the Netherlands. So dekat Malaysia belum ada lagi benda tu. But dekat Malaysia dah ada kalau if you use international punya banking system. So for example macam PayPal, TransferWise, all those punya medium or platform, you can use it. You can use it to buy cryptocurrency nowadays. Especially if you have a Mastercard or Visa, dah boleh dah. So if to help the economy, yeah, actually Malaysia have lots of digital asset. If you want to know, Malaysia have lots of Bitcoin, but because what they usually use is they don't use it widely because it's untraceable, right? It's traceable, but people don't know how to trace it. So that's the thing that I think many people need to focus on, because otherwise you don't know where your transaction money goes. For example, yeah, I give you the normal the small example. For example, like bank. Okay, you keep the money on the bank, and then sometimes they cut some of the amount because you need to pay some, let's say, tax or liability or something like that. But sometimes you don't know how much you've been tagged off, right? Because you want to check, but sometimes you cannot check the whole thing because you need to go through to the bank system, bank details and everything. And that's for me is the hard part, because if I want to check something, I want to just check it online. I don't have to go through all this hassle, you know. So in this blockchain, you can check directly. So let's say, yeah, if someone wants to money laundering, you can see the money laundering transaction through blockchain. Because from bank, you cannot see those. Diorang boleh cakap, oh okay, dia letak duit tu dekat Swiss, for example, and then it's been secured by this central bank or this other central bank. And for me personally, yeah, I rather want to see where the money goes rather than you just say to someone and then you don't know where the money goes, if you get what I mean. So in terms of economy, I think this is very good because it's very systematic. You can see, you can monitor, and also you can be more consistent and be faster. Because nowadays, for example, you make like the passport, for example, for immigration here in Malaysia. It takes let's say 2 or 3 days if you didn't go to the central one. If you go to the normal, you need to take like 2 or 3 days to get like the passport done. And all the information is in the one database, right? But if you use a blockchain, everything is at once. So everything is autonomous. So you don't have to use someone to call, or fax me, or fax that, or send this, send that. Because if let's say I want to put my information online, I put online and the government knows all my information online because it's been put in one big cloud, if you get what I mean. So because nowadays in Malaysia, the system is very, how to say, is very diverse. So you need to sometimes, okay, go to this and then, okay, adik lepas daripada pergi sini, pergi minta job dekat sini ya, pergi sini. And then, you know, it takes a lot of time to go through this. But with blockchain, I see this very consistent and is very, how to say, is very sophisticated technology, because everything you put one time online, you check it, everything is online. It's a similar thing like you check your file and everything like that. You search on your computer, check it, and then everything is online. So why don't we use that concept in this administration punya system, you know? Because from there it's easy, because otherwise I need to bring my, you know, passport balik, macam kena bawa photostat and everything, where everything is already digital. Tapi in our system we still need to bring hard copy and all other stuff, and then benda tu nanti kena chop. You get what I mean? So it takes a lot of time, but at the same time it's not well organized. I think for blockchain technology, it can make the system well organized, but at the same time as sophisticated as it can. Yeah, hope that answered the question.
Right. So now we have questions from the WebEx itself.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a question from Chun Han Ho. Hi, I feel like everyone purchase NFT to earn money more than appreciate the artwork. How do how to avoid this problem as a artist slash seller?
That's a good question. It's a very good question. It's actually how we're going to do that. Like I said, engagement to the community. That's why I mentioned just now, engagement is very crucial as artists, because that's what the collector wants. Because for me personally, if I want to buy something, I want to make sure like, okay, my artist that I buy, like, okay, maybe you give some extra NFT for the big collectors, for example. You can do so many things. You can give a physical artwork. You can make like the collector feels more organic in a way to understand your work and your artwork. So usually engaging to the community is very crucial, because people, like I said, people always think this NFT to cash grab. Flip NFT and then you get lots of money. You put online and then tomorrow you directly sell it. It's actually doesn't be like that at all, because usually people buy it because in this local scene, like Malaysia scene, I would say most of the people just buy art to flip to get more money. But for me in Europe, last time people buy art because they appreciate the artist and they want to see more artwork from the artist. So from there, if you get the close engagement with your collectors and the investors, you automatically get more collectors from different countries, because like I said, this Web 3.0 is worldwide. It's not only local. It's not only like Southeast Asia. It's like worldwide. So I always tell to people why you should limit yourself to only Malaysia, where you can go Southeast Asia and the whole world. You know, so that's why I always say to people, try to go global as you can, and then after that, at the end of the day, the local will follow anyway. You know, so that's why I always tell to people, understand the culture of the NFT, understand your community, understand the collectors. So from there, you understand like the play role of the NFT world. Yeah, hope that answered the question.
Yeah, Junhan, is it okay from that answer? Okay, so we have next question from Jade. So his question is, can we like withdraw the NFT fund to your personal bank account?
Yes, actually you can, as long you sell the NFT. So like I said, you have the crypto currency exchange, right? So this cryptocurrency exchange is similar to bank that I mentioned. So it's also a converter. So let's say if you have a digital currency, if you want to put on your personal bank account, you can convert it from this crypto exchange. So this crypto exchange, when you let's say you sign it, they will ask for your bank account and stuff. The bank account, your face and everything to identify is you. So if you already give all this document to the bank, similar to the bank lah, macam you need to give all the information to the bank, right? So when you have those, and then if you want to cash out the money, you need to convert it from cryptocurrency to the personal wallet. So that nanti dia akan directly transfer to your personal wallet lah, personal bank account. But if you want to convert it, I suggest don't convert it like with a large amount, because like I said, this thing is still not legal fully yet in Malaysia. So because my friend had like a tax for like 120K just because of putting out the money. So you know that LSDI will comes to you if you convert a lot of money. So I would go for like max per day is 10K. If you know 10K is per day, you can cash out the money. It's pretty doable, right? So you know it's even more than enough. So but then you know like from the LSD end, they're gonna see all this transaction, you know. So like I said, they're gonna monitor your transaction. So you need to be smart also, you know. You need to be smart to, you know, not paying all these taxes, because that's what we're trying to do. We want to have a financial freedom, you know. You still put the money in the normal bank with the normal centralized bank, that's no problem, of course. You want to put on ESB ke apa ke, terpulang. But I always say to people, always put half of your income over there and another half on the crypto, because from there you can have two possible of income to get in, you know. So you can, like for example, like on the crypto, you can sell the cryptocurrency itself and you can trade and sell. But at the same time, you can also sell NFT and everything. But then if you want to use the money for the daily basis, for the fiat money, you can still convert it to the crypto punya exchange. So from there is the other way around. It's similar to you go to the converter punya kedai lah. You want to go for exchange money kan, nak pergi luar negara and everything. It's a similar thing. But then benda ni semua online. So yeah, hope that answered question.
Oh, Mr. Ibrahim. So with that question, right, can I add on like a bit more? So I'm curious, in real life currency, how much is 1 pesos or 1 Ethereum? Like what is the value of equal, like, how
Yeah. Okay.
berapa?
For example, like one Ethereum equivalent to 16,000 ringgit dollars, I think. One,
Six,
yeah,
six, okay.
one Ethereum
Wow.
equivalent to, yeah, 11,000, sorry, 11,000.
Oh wow.
So one,
See,
one Tezos equals, that's why I said certain currency, for example, Tezos is cheap. Like I think one Tezos equivalent to 30 ringgit or 40 ringgit. So you know, you can see the blockchain and the currency itself have a value, right? So I would suggest to people, if you want to start the NFT, start with the small and the cheap one first, cheap currency first, with Tezos, for example. And you dah start with Tezos, you dah building up the portfolio, you dah jual certain amount, and then you get the money, you have the liquidity, then you go in the different cryptocurrency. Let's say you go Ethereum because you know Ethereum is so expensive, right? Usually Ethereum I would go for last one lah because that one is the most valuable one. Usually I go from Tezos to Binance and then from Binance to Ethereum. So benda ni takes time lah to belajar. But then, like I said, if you want to ask any question to me or if you tak nak tanya kat sini kan, malu ke apa, you can also go DM me directly or you can find me on the Detik punya website or Detik punya ni. I would love to help and I would love to give awareness to people about this because macam saya cakap lah, people understand NFT just about NFT cash grab money. That's it. You know, people don't understand what it is actually. Kenapa orang beli mahal sangat? You know, those things orang tak faham. So now I want to explain to people lah. So that as a creator, bila orang nak buat, orang tak fikir only money. You know, because I like the question from Chun Han because mention like, okay, kalau nak avoid benda ni macam mana avoid people yang betul nak buat duit saja. So what we can do is create a small community and then probably you can make like every week or every 2 weeks you have a new drop or new artwork that you want to show to the collectors and then maybe some, you know, macam you buat business lah, you buat business, you bagi giveaway, you know, you bagi lah certain shout out ke apa, all those small little things, it's a similar mechanism, sama je. So for people yang nak beli sebab duit, diorang at the end of the day, if you building up yourself, in 3 months later, your artwork from now and in 3 months later is totally different, the value. Trust me. Because usually people say like, okay, kalau kau famous in real life and then you go in the NFT scene, you'll be automatically famous. That's not right. Usually people from the NFT itself, they have a different, how to say, different environment, I would say, you know, because the people are very, for me personally, the people are very open and the people are very also like very try to engaging with other people to share the knowledge, to also explain if you want to ask any question. It's not something like, it's community centric lah, I would say. Semua benda community centric because usually people cakap, oh, you are the right, or kau betul because you are the cikgu or everything like that. But in NFT world, in the community world, usually we learn from each other. You know something I don't know. I maybe know something that you don't know. You know, so let's learn from each other rather than pointing to each other like who's right or who's wrong. I think that's the better way of learning lah. It's also easier for people to understand because we can discuss as many time we want. Hope that answer the question lah for everyone. Ada lagi question tak?
Uh, can I ask like one question?
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
out of curiosity, kan. So what kind of effect does it have on the NFT of a new NFT artist if the big boys club monopolize the NFT world? Like, will it drown the newbies? Kalau let's say if this person comes in the NFT world really late and all the big boys club already masuk dah everything, so how will it affect the newbies? Ke dia macam, yeah.
I think for the newbies, like I said, if you as long you engage with the community, other people will help you lift it up. For example, the collectors start with the other NFT collect your artwork. It doesn't mean they are collectors. Macam for me, I'm a collector. I memang collect stuff from the NFT. So I just like to collect whatever I like, for example. But certain people, for example, like the newbie yang baru nak start ni, usually yang banyak collect dorang punya artwork is the other artists. So for example, I buat and then you like my artwork. Betul cakap, oh, tapi I like your artwork juga. So I was like, oh, let me buy your artwork lah. Nanti I buy, nanti kalau siapa-siapa you like my artwork, you buy je lah. So the artist support other artists first, and from the artist itself, that's where you build a community and that's where you find the other collectors. And you need to remember, like I said, these artists, these collectors, or these investors, not per se only in Malaysia, but also worldwide. So like I said, if as long you sharpen your communication skills on Twitter, and Twitter is the most important part, most important role for NFT lah, because nowadays Twitter dah integrate the NFT punya wallet tau. So meaning whatever you own from the digital asset from the NFT, you can put it on the Twitter as a profile picture, and then they integrate that. They mention to people like, yeah, you own this NFT, you have a proof of ownership lah, basically. Let's put it in that way. So if like Bia mentioned just now, kalau baru nak start, macam mana nak start, we have all this, macam I cakap, we have the NFXT community. From the NFXT community, we teach people from A to Z how to set up the wallet, how to start, how to put because every month we're gonna make like I think 2 or 3 events every week. Every week one event. So the event is just easy to onboard all these new artists. So what we're doing in the NFXT is like every weekends we're gonna assemble all these new NFT artists, and then we're gonna explain to them, okay, how to set up the wallet and everything, like exactly the same just now I mentioned to you all the slide. But then we're gonna show like, okay, in this wallet, where to buy the cryptocurrency, and then we do it all together. And then from there, you're gonna explain, okay, maybe share about your collection, what would you want to do and stuff. So you, let's say you pitch your collection, you pitch your artwork and everything, but then other people still hear or look at your artwork, yeah, and you might never know inside there is the collectors that people want to buy. It's just you try to pitching yourself to other people lah. It's a similar to business lah. You still want to put your business outside, right? You want to make people understand or people aware with your business punya model or business punya product. So it's similar to NFT lah. Tapi NFT, they have a Discord, Telegram, Discord. They have the community punya tempat tau. Macam Twitter kan sekarang boleh buat list macam group yang you boleh masukkan semua you punya collectors, or you can create all of those online nowadays. So that's why I said always try to communicate with your collectors, try to appreciate your collectors, because from there people see the effort and the people automatically will follow lah. Especially with new artists. Usually with new artists and good artwork, usually sold out. At least I would buy it first, because for me personally, I look at the art itself first before I go into the project, because for me, I like to invest on the artist. So if I like the artwork from the artist, and I know this artist in 3 months or 4 months later, it can be like good, like really the artwork will be like superb, majestic, I will go for it. So without doubt, But then some other, you can see, you can see the artwork itself from the artist. You can see the work in progress. That's the thing that people want to see. So let's say if you are an artist, you want to sell. Okay, you make an artwork and then you record sikit-sikit, put record and then say, okay, this is my work in progress. Almost done. All those small stuff is what makes people wants to buy your artwork, because people see the effort, people see the value, and people see your hard work. And those things is the most important part lah. Because like I said, people will want to invest on your skills, and your artwork, not personality. So for example, if you are like a macam famous guy or famous girl, famous individual person, but then you don't know how to make artwork, people wouldn't buy. And maybe people just buy because of your name, not because of your talent. Macam tu. It's a different world lah from entertainment punya industri kat sini. Creative punya business is different lah, NFT ni. Hope that answer the question.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So we have another question from
Oh yeah.
Jade. So his question is, any plan to do workshop in USM?
Actually we do plan, because actually from the Detik we have like several, I think, members from USM. Also they're trying to hook it up the USM to give workshop. But yes, I will try to let other team members mention about this, because I really think the workshop is it can help people understand better about this, because like I can explain it virtually, you can hear to me, maybe tomorrow you will forgot, you know. I rather to do like virtually, and also like a practical lah. So meaning I will try to make a workshop. I try to discuss with the USM authority and also the team members, and maybe we can make like the only the introduction and to set up all this wallet to start the NFT. Uh, so from there, then we can teach time by time lah. But usually in the Telegram Detik, usually every week, and tonight also we have like the talk about crypto, and to understand more about what is the smart contract and everything. All the basic stuff will be on the Detik. So you can check, you guys can check detik.ai, and then from detik.ai, you can check all this information on the Telegram and the Discord, and all the information is inside. So tonight also we have a talk by Part one of our crypto analysis. So you can also ask any question. Doesn't really matter you want to ask basic question, advanced question. For us, we are willing to help. We're willing to answer the question, because at the end of the day, we learn from each other. Because like I said, I might learn something from you and you might learn something from me. Let's learn each other rather than we learn out for ourselves, you know. Because I always think like this knowledge, or especially this blockchain knowledge, it should be known with everyone, because uh because I think this is the future, and I really think all the youngsters like you guys, or all the new generation should know about this earlier than the boomers, so that we can understand the technology and we can try to come up with a good ideas and good invention in the future. Yeah, hope that answer the question.
To add on to Jeet's question, yeah, Mr. Ibrahim, is there any
Oh yeah,
links or website that everyone out the audience can access to?
oh yeah, link for the tech you mean, right?
Yes,
Oh,
that Dr. I mean, Mr. Ibrahim can share
wait,
to
wait,
the
oh,
audience.
the tech.
Seems like we have another questions from the WebEx. Is it okay if I read it to Mr. Ibrahim? Ibrahim?
Yeah, for sure,
Okay.
let's do that.
So, which NFT marketplace would you recommend for beginners? And do all NFT marketplaces have the same minting fees?
Oh, that was a good question, Rizati. Okay, for NFT marketplace, like I said, they have several. They have a lot. For I would recommend Tezos first, for Tezos chain, because that's the most cheapest and the most community centric. Uh, you can search on chat.com. Okay, I send it on the chat. So that one is the cheapest, the Tezos chain. That one is the cheapest for object.com, Hikatanung, and uh, for the Ethereum and Binance, for example, Binance, you can use Pentas. Pentas is also cheap, but then it's a centralized. For example, like OpenSea and everything. Have, OpenSea is for the Ethereum. OpenSea, Rarible is also Tezos and Ethereum. So that's a lot actually. So I will send like maybe a link. Let me check. Oh yeah, and do all NFT marketplace have the same minting fees? Okay, for NFT marketplace minting fees, usually they have a different one. So like Tezos is cheap, Binance is also cheap, but Ethereum will be slightly expensive because of the Ethereum punya gas. They're mining gas, Ether gas. So from the Ether gas itself, you need to pay the transaction fee using the gas. So that makes the transaction fee or minting fee is more expensive. But Tezos and Binance is cheap. Usually I will go for Tezos because because I start with Tezos for NFT. I start with Tezos. So what I like about Tezos is, like I said, it's community centric, and your work is be seen worldwide. So most of my collector before, when I had my collectors, most of them are from Venezuela, North America, you know, somewhere that you don't even imagine, you know, but people would buy it. So that's why I understand, like, probably there's someone will like your artwork in this world, you know, because everyone will gonna be have the same interest with you, the same passion, and the same let's say like yeah, interest, you know. So if let's say you do certain work or certain artwork that you think other people think like, oh, I like about this artwork or collection, people will just buy it without think twice or something like that because it's cheap. But if you go in the Ethereum network, let's say it's like the gas fee or the transaction fee will be cost like $200 or $100. If I want to buy your artwork, for example, I need to think twice. I want to make sure like, oh, if I buy, is it worth it to my transaction fee? Is it worth it with this amount of the value, you know? So all of these things people consider it. So that's why I always say to people, if they want to start the NFT, start with the block. Which blockchain would you want to start? So the cheapest will be Tezos chain. The second one will be Binance. So Binance you can do with Pentas. So it's a local punya marketplace, and Detik also will be having a marketplace on this May. So and from Binance you can use the Ethereum. So usually what I did is I master the blockchain of Tezos first to understand the strategy, to understand the NFT play, to understand the pricing, to understand the addition, all these small, tiny practical stuff, I will go for Tezos. And then after that, I will go to Binance to go for the local market, for example. So because they have a Pentas, right, for Binance, and they also have a Detik later on. So all those two platforms, what I did is like, yeah, I try to see, okay, in this local or market, what people like, what is the demand, for example. So the demand is like, okay, people like I said, the type of NFT, right? People like more profile picture. Some people like more artwork. Some people like more like metaverse asset, you know. All this you need to know, you need to determine. So before you start your NFT, you need to brainstorm what type of NFT you want to do, what target audience you want to go, what kind of like element would you want to be in? Because for example, if you want to put it on the Pentas or put it on the local market platform, you wouldn't want to use like a very complicated, deep, or to say like artistic artwork. You will go for something like cultured punya artwork, betul tak? So it's similar to you go with understand it. So that's why I want to make sure that people need to see the bigger picture, the overview of the NFT scene before they want to know or before they want to create an NFT. Because at the end of the day, you can choose whatever you want to use for the blockchain. You have the personal right, you have the collector will follow you, you know, because some people say, oh yeah, why you put on the certain blockchain where your hour is so expensive and the other blockchain is so cheaper? Yeah, because maybe some people cannot buy in the expensive price, but people can buy in the cheaper price. You get what I mean? So people, you have choice to put your work on the high price or low price. So like I said, it depends on the individual. Yeah, hope that answer the question for Nurul Izati.
So, Mr. Ibrahim, just out of curiosity, right? So, how much would you advise
Wait,
when
I
you...
cannot hear. 1 moment.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Is everything okay, Mr. Ibrahim?
Uh, 1 moment, yeah, I cannot hear the voice.
No worries, no worries. Take your time, Mr. Ibrahim.
Can you hear me talk? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. Ibrahim?
I cannot hear you guys.
Alamak. While we await for Mr. Ibrahim, to the audience that's watching, do you guys have any questions or any questions that you guys can ask? Please do put in the comment box and we can answer. Mr. Ibrahim, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I cannot. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Sorry. My
It's, it's
earphone
okay.
was out.
It's okay, no worries, Mr. Ibrahim. So my question was, okay, for Mr. Ibrahim, what are your advice for students that are, not for students, for anyone that's out there, for newbies, NFT newbies, if they want to mint their artwork, how much would you recommend them to start off?
Uh, I will start off with because usually what the NFXT did was we actually fund all the first minting of the newbie usually. So what we're doing is like we told you that we make every week or every 2 weeks for the event, right? So that event, uh, what we're doing is like we assemble all these people and then you're gonna explain all the minting part or what you want to mint, and then we give a certain fund to start with. So for example, like Tezos, even Tezos, I can even give you some of the Tezos if you want, because usually that's what we're doing. Because usually people, the artists, they already make money in the Tezos, for example. The profit money, usually they help other artists to start. So that's where people, that's why I said to people, if you want to start for the NFT, start with Tezos, because the community for Tezos is very, I don't know, I really liked it because it's very uh worldwide and it's very cultured, you know. It's an NFT culture, I would say. So people help with each other and people try to, let's say, even people give you some amount to start your NFT, you know, unless if you go with other blockchain, for example, like Ethereum. So Ethereum is slightly expensive, and then if you mint and then you don't get any sell, any sale, you will be like, yeah, you'll be, you know, like stressed out, right? Because like, yeah, you spend a lot of money, you put everything, you hope like, oh yeah, people will buy it, and then suddenly like, no one buying it. So that's why I said to people, start with the cheaper blockchain and cheaper one. From there, you can understand the game. You know, you can see, okay, these people or certain collectors like this, or these people, how to engage with people. From there, you'll understand. Then you go to the like expensive blockchain, like Binance or Ethereum, slightly more expensive. So from there, you learn, because at the end of the day, you still can put your artwork on the this blockchain, and you can put artwork on this blockchain, and you can put artwork on this blockchain. So let's say you have three blockchain for the artwork that you put. You never know, in this three blockchain, the people might want to buy your or your artwork, you know. So from there, you can see like, okay, which one you get the most engagement. For example, you say, oh, okay, maybe in Tezos you get more engagement, so you focus more on the Tezos. Then if you think like, oh, okay, I think I can make like a very like quality hour, so I can sell in more high price. For example, go in Ethereum. You get what I mean? So that's why I said you need to understand. You need to do research about this, like slowly, and then like I said, don't rush things. Understand the blockchain first, then the cryptocurrency, then you will understand the 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 NFT punya seed. But on the side, if you want to ask any question, we would love to, because we have the Telegram also on the Detik AI, the one that I send the website. So inside you can find our information. You can join in the Telegram. You can join in the Discord. Inside there, we put lots of information, and then might be soon we're gonna make like you mentioned, the workshop. We try to educate people online, but at the same time offline as well. So in the offline, if the going to the USM, we need to talk about that soon, because I'm gonna discuss this with my team. But virtually, of course, we're gonna make it, because I really want to make, especially students, to understand more about this, because you guys are the new generation. So you guys the one who should know this than the other people, because at the end of the day, we're going to the technology era. Because if you didn't know this, who would, So that's why I always try to educate the student first, because one student, it also helps student to make money. One is that. And second one, this system is a new system, and then it's a new internet, right? So you are good in the internet, right? I mean, all the students know how to use internet, all the student knows how to, vlogging and everything. Why don't you use those talent and skill, and then put to make something that you like, and then you can sell it, and then you can make money out of it. And that's where the thing that people don't understand, because people always think like, oh yeah, I can put it on the Instagram. It's similar thing. But yeah, you put it on Instagram, but you don't own it. You cannot sell it on Instagram. Buat apa penat-penat tangkap gambar posing penat-penat, but then you cannot sell it. That's the idea. So I always say to people, like, try to find opportunities, especially opportunities so you can sell, because nowadays you can sell everything digital. So use this opportunity to sell all the digital stuff. Anything that related to digital, sell it to anyone. Because like I said, at the end of the day, yang akan beli not per se orang sekeliling you, yang akan beli maybe orang-orang luar, orang-orang yang will appreciate your artwork. And from there you can see lah, which one is a support, which one lagi banyak support, macam tu. I hope that answered the question untuk semua.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. So everyone, anak-anak muda dekat luar tu, 1 peso equal to 11K. If that doesn't take your interest, I don't know what is. So
Yeah.
1 peso, 11K. All
Yeah.
right, so sadly now we have almost come to the end of the talk. It was really fun having this conversation, this talk. Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for everyone who listened. Thank you for all the question. Again, like I said, if you have more question, if you guys have any question yang baru nak tanya dekat sini ke, nak tanya personal, you can find on the website the Detik AI. You can join the Telegram and can ask all the information kat dalam tu lah. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. I hope everyone take notes of all the information that has been shared today, because it is truly valuable. Susah nak dapat. So, but sadly, again, we have to end the talk.
Yeah.
So to end the talk, thank you again, Mr. Ibrahim. Do you have any advice for all the students or newbies out there for the
For all
NFT?
the students, what I want to say, spend a lot of your time watching all this YouTube about NFT. Trust me, it will help you. Spend a lot of time on using how to use Discord, and that will help you as well. And spend a lot of time on how to polish your communication skills on the social media, which is Twitter. Those three, if you can polish it in 3 years after now, memang inshallah, yeah, everything will be fine for you. Especially with the knowledge lah. You need to use it with knowledge. So thank you very much, Rintes, and thank you for the moderator. Thank you for everyone for listening. I really enjoy sharing all this information and all this knowledge to you guys. I hope you guys can use this wisely. That's what I can say. Use this knowledge wisely, because some people didn't use it wisely. So I advise everyone, whenever you want to do things or whenever you want to decide some things, always think twice, do your own research before you chime into it. So thank you very much, and I hope I will see you guys in the near future, maybe.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. So to end this everything, I would like to have a gentle reminder that to end with a big bang. So tomorrow, everybody are welcome to join our talk again by, and this time it is by Encik Hassan Abdul Muttalib. So on cinematography, visual storytelling. It's a very interesting topic. So I hope everyone stay tuned for tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Stay safe and keep following SOP, everyone. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.